What's up guys, it's Kyokai1994 here today to talk to you about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball, from Ball to Z and everything in between. And in today's video I wanted to introduce another video series that will be revolving around the Dragon Ball side stories. In late 2016, the Dragon Ball Room was announced, a division devoted solely to Dragon Ball and extending the life of the franchise. As of now, only one thing has actually come out of the Dragon Ball Room, and that's the Reborn as Yamcha series that I've been reviewing on my channel. Me, as a Dragon Ball fan, love the idea of more stories coming out, and with the ending of Super being inevitable, I decided I would try to help the Dragon Ball Room out a little bit by coming up with my own ideas that I want to see with the franchise. So, to start this series off, I want to introduce my special guest for the very first time on this channel, the man, the myth, the legend, MJ from GeekListTV. What's up, man? Say hello to everybody at home.
Stop it, bro. I'm not a legend. What are you doing? I'm not a legend, but what's up, guys? MJ here. Thank you for having me on the channel for the first time ever.
Nah, man, I really appreciate it. You know, I like talking to anybody about anything Dragon Ball. That is, you know, the intro anyway. So, me and MJ were talking for a while about some cool little side stories that we actually wanted to see. And for the first video in the series, I really wanted to talk to everybody about a few ideas that we had revolving around our favorite member of the San family, Gohan. So, MJ, what was that first one you kind of wanted to, you know, hint off about?
So, Kyokai, the first one I wanted to talk about is the adventures of, I guess, Gohan. Just kind of like his everyday life, and then in his everyday life, the stuff that he would do, that we would do. And so one of the few things that I like to do is go out and buy stuff, whether it's shoes, clothes, whatever. I'm sure most people are like that. I can't be the only one who likes to do that, right? So you have so you would have Gohan go out, right? And maybe you can paint this as the picture as to where this is where he gets his tracksuit. Now we understand that during some point from BOG to ROF, he misplaced his gi, the gi that resembles his father's gi, and he didn't have it in preparation for the, to retaliate against the attack from Frieza, so he used the tracksuit. Now, the funny thing about the tracksuit is that, as I may know in a video on my channel with Mark, is that almost every outfit that Gohan has, it's almost either been picked or clothes beamed by Piccolo for him. It's always like, it was never like his actual intention to pick out that outfit, you know what I mean?
He didn't get to pick out his stylish gear.
His stylish gear, you know, it was never him going to the store or him. Who knows, maybe he was the one who put together the outfit that he had in the beginning of the Blue Arc where he trained Goten, but me and Real to Real even made a joke that Chi-Chi could have probably even put that together for him. So it's like, we just don't know when this dude puts his own clothes together. So we made the joke that the one time in his life, the one time that he went out of his day to purchase some clothing wear, was green tracksuit. And of course, everyone hated it.
And he got pwned.
You know what I mean? So I just think that would be an interesting little side spin-off where we can kind of see what he does in his everyday life leading up to him going to the store, having him just go through all these wacky scenarios. You have him in the dressing room, like with Videl, and him just coming out like with each different like outfit until he finally decides on the infamous tracksuit that he even wore up until the Universe Survival Arc training with Piccolo.
I mean, you could also get a really good character development between him and Videl. You can see that thing where like when Krillin actually decides to, like, you know, shave his head and like go off and everything, 18 says this line where she's like, he's so cool. And you could definitely see Videl like get those like lovey-dovey heart eyes and be like, oh, Gohan, you look so good. And then he's like, oh, I know I do, babe, or something. That would be hilarious. But the other
Have you seen the new guy?
What new guy?
The movie The New Guy?
I can't think of his name. It's like DJ something, but yeah, I know completely who you're talking about.
Yeah, that scene where the girl's in the dressing room. Replace that, have Videl sitting down, and then have Gohan as the one showing off the clothes. I think that'd be kind of funny.
Okay, now I really want somebody to edit Gohan's face on that guy's face and link that somewhere to me on Twitter, because that would be hilarious. But from everyday adventures, you know what else we could always see? His great life of being a teacher's aide. So, like, I was kind of thinking to go along with his everyday adventures that we could see, like, a gag-style manga, because the one thing that we do see in Dragon Ball is gag, but it's not the same as, like, Dr. Slump, which was more of a comedy manga instead of, like, a shonen action fighting manga. So, like, I personally want to see, and this will also be explained in other ones of these side story videos, I want to see more gag related for these characters, and I also want to see more romance, because Toriyama's terrible at writing romance. And like, I don't want fan fiction-y romance, but I do want to see like a genuine connection between these characters, because they're married, they have kids, they love their families. Like, that's the whole reason of like, that's why they're fighting for the universe, is because they love the people that they're around. So like, I kind of want to see that get built up a little bit more, and especially the Dragon Ball Room only releasing mangas so far. That's something that's really easy to be done in print, and like to go along, like I said, with your adventures of everyday life, we could see him like grading the papers for all the students. Like, oh, I gotta work so hard. Like, don't bother me, Videl. I'm gonna be in the room. And then you know how much he loves Pan. And every time he sees her, his face just lights up, and he's like, oh, that's my daughter. Like, she can come like smashing into the room, like not even open the door. Like, we could still have Baby Pan just smash through the door since she knows how to fly, and just like wreck shop and like get all the papers thrown around. And he's like, oh no, I was supposed to have these done by tomorrow. My professor's gonna be so angry at me. And like that, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of comedy can come from Gohan, because like he's super awkward. I mean, in the Buu arc, he doesn't know how to talk to girls. He doesn't understand social situations. Like, he shouldn't be jumping 30 feet in the air to catch a baseball. But I feel like that would be a pretty solid, like, gaggy, kind of lovable thing that you would see. And it really leads in to the second point that I really feel that a little bit more of this video might be revolving around. And I would love to see an Eastern take on Western superheroes. And we have two superheroes in the series. We have Great Saiyaman 1 and Great Saiyaman 2. So I personally want to see the Great Saiyaman series come out. I don't know about you or what your thoughts might be on it.
I would love that. I will get into that in a second. I just want to go back to his grading paper stuff. That would be a nice little homage, and they could actually be symbolic with it, and they could kind of paint a picture where, you know, in the movies and the specials, they would always do scenes where Gohan was doing homework, and, you know, Chi-Chi was cooking or cleaning, and then Goku was always doing some shenanigans to interrupt him. You can paint that picture, reverse it, and do some symbolism where Gohan is still at his desk. This time he's grading papers because he's graduated past being a scholar and is now teaching people. So he's grading the papers, and then you have Videl taking over Chi-Chi's place, and then you have Pan taking over the role of Goku with her shenanigans, kind of showing that Goku kind of lives in Pan. You know, that characterization of Goku.
That is a really good characterization, because especially like in GT, you see the like very simple natured but very loving and very hardworking person that is Pan. When I mean, a lot of people don't like GT. I personally love GT. I love anything Dragon Ball, if you can't tell from what my channel is. But personally in GT, it seems a lot more I don't want to say nostalgic, because nostalgic would be the wrong word, but like it just has a different little atmosphere. Like, it seems like it's a lot more about family before Super ever came out, because now Super is obviously the most about family.
Oh, Super's more about shipping big time, dude. No, but okay, I just wanted to bring that up because we were talking about some symbolism and other topics off air, so I wanted to bring that up. That would be real cool for them to incorporate that, and we can make note of that in print form. Real easy to do. But anyways, going back to the whole Great Saiyaman stuff, yeah, that would be awesome. There is so many, and I mean so many things you could do. You can even paint little stories where you have like aliens, you know what I mean, like the poachers, stuff like that, where they come. It doesn't just have to be stuff on Earth, and you have Gohan and you know, Videl or Great Saiyaman 2 like, fending off the Earth, and you can't really say, oh, isn't that contradictory, because they weren't real threats to Gohan. You know what I mean? When you realize how Gohan, how strong he actually is, you know, they're just protecting the Earth. You can do so many side things. You can do a whole world of stuff off of them. You know, it would be badass in my opinion. You know, move away, Superman, watch out, Great Saiyaman. That's money right there, dude. At least in my opinion.
No, I completely agree that it's money right there, because you can start off with you can start it off in the Buu saga, like kind of shooting off of the Buu saga a little bit, and you can have him like, because they never introduce completely like what made him exactly start fighting crime. Like the first couple times, like they say like, oh yeah, he came in and like just wanted to stop crime, but like you could have one incident that was like, okay, I need to stand up for the people that live in this city. Like, I need to stand up and I need to help out. And then that leads into like him doing the Golden Warrior thing, and then going like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I need to get an outfit and I need to make my own persona. And then you could see that happen. And then you can like kind of time shift where it's like, okay, we don't need to introduce Videl that much. You could have like a couple pages or like a part of a chapter that's like, okay, yeah, they're introduced, they're doing their little thing, and then you can time skip it straight into both of them being the crime fighting duo, especially like in like Rakata no Fusion, Fusion Reborn, like how they both were fighting. Like you could have more things going along with that, and then you can completely side shoot it into anything you want no matter what, because Goku's not going to fight small aliens that come to Earth to fight, like, small amounts of crime. Like, he's training to do, like, Tournament of Power 2. Like, he's not worried about small little threats to small cities.
A good example of that is in Super, in both the beginning, in the manga and in the anime, as in both the anime and the manga, he specifically mentions that when he's training on his off time from work, he specifically tells Gohan he's training just in case people like Boo, come around again. So it makes sense, Gohan's not going to bother Goku, when Videl or Hercule or whoever, Satan get a notification that there's a monster that they could easily defeat on their own, you know what I mean? They're not going to bother Goku or Vegeta for that.
Goku's not worried about the Watagash coming back or anything. Like, that's something that Gohan's going to deal with, and Gohan can do perfectly. And I'm not a super big comic book fan. Like, I mean, my nerdiness and my geekness is just for a couple different series. So personally, it would be a really good thing, because I used to read like Frank Miller Batman, like the Dark Knight and everything. That's what inspired, for anybody who doesn't know, that's what inspired Christopher Nolan to make the 3 Dark Knight movies, was Frank Miller's original work. I like Watchmen and stuff like that, a little bit grittier. So like, I know that they wouldn't go too in-depth or hardcore like that, but it would be very interesting for me to see Easternization of a Westernization style of comic that, like, I mean, you could add Boom and Pow, which, I mean, I know it's already on pages in the manga, but, like, you could make it like the old school Batman, where it's like the whole screen says Pow for a second, or the whole panel would say Pow, and then the next thing is, like, Gohan just punching somebody. Like, I mean, you could have a lot of great character moments, and you could really dive in depth more into their relationship, which that's where I think the best lovey-dovey kind of thing could come through. Like, oh, you saved me, thank you, Gohan. Like, with the last episode of Super, we got to see Krillin do that for his girl, and we got to see the love eyes that she gave him with that.
Yeah, definitely, because when you go back, obviously they trained together. He taught her how to fly, stuff like that. I'm talking about Videl. And then
how to use her ki, even what ki was.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that was, even though they did bond, and she started to fall for him, the problem with that was they were swiftly swung straight to the Boo arc, you know what I mean? So having that finish, and then we get to see what happens after that, and to see them bond even more leading up to, obviously, when during their marriage, during the birth of their daughter, would be awesome,
No, yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's kind of where we may kind of trail off on it. I also would formally like to invite you to any other videos. You're more than welcome to be on any more of these side stories if you ever have an idea. I also want to hear from anybody inside the comments what side stories you want to hear, and I also want to hear more side stories that you want to hear through Gohan himself. I am going to leave a link in the description, and I really want you guys to check out MJ's channel. I've been a fan of his channel myself personally, so I really want you guys to check him out and check out the great content that he puts out. He puts out daily content, so I mean, there's always something to watch from him, and he's always got funny people marking out on, little moments on his channel. So a lot of gold comes from his channel, I feel, and like I said, I'll leave the link in the description so that you can check that out. I also want you guys to subscribe to my channel, and I also want you guys to hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I put more content out, because I am sitting right now at weekly content, but I want to be moving more into the 2-3 times a week, and that is something that I think will be happening sometime soon. So I do want to thank everybody again, and if you have any closing words, MJ, you're more than free to say something.
No, man, this was awesome, and I hope to come back pretty soon, man. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, man. So I'll catch you guys all next time.